Now, it's one of the biggest challenges we face. Our region is one of the least healthy in the country. Too much smoking and drinking means our rates of cancer are higher than many other places, and our lives are shorter. But the problems begin early, with worrying levels of obesity in children starting school. Well, this week on Look North, we're asking the question, why are we so unhealthy? In the first of our reports, Peter Harris looks at the fight to get our children in shape.
They're not bothered with you mustn't do this or you mustn't do that. So they put their backs into everything they do because they like doing it. As a result, they learn to concentrate on both work and play. No one can deny that they look well on the treatment anyway.
Well, they do, but you'd never get this death trap past the health and safety officials these days. But for the PlayStation generation, there's another problem. Not all are this active, and now many are obese.
I think we do need to worry about the levels of childhood obesity that we've got at the moment in this city. Most parents, when they are told that their children are not of a healthy weight, initially kick back a little bit and are concerned, and they also feel quite guilty about the fact that this has been identified. But usually most parents come round and they really do want to make a change for their children. We're seeing diabetes, for example, developing much earlier in children than it ever used to be, and that's a really good example about how things have changed over time.
It does seem a bit of a generalisation to say that children don't take any exercise. And according to the NHS, in this region, children exercise more than elsewhere, yet we still have this obesity problem.
In the North East, the NHS says 1 in 10 children are starting school obese. Sunderland and Middlesbrough are much worse than the national average, but Newcastle is the region's worst. So what can be done?
Cooking from scratch with things like whole grains, good quality protein, plenty of fruit and vegetables. We've got this situation where our kids are not going to be living nearly as long as we are. And, you know, we're only here once. And I think if people want to live a long and healthy life, they really need to be taking personal responsibility.
And something is happening, like here in Newcastle. Local mums became Change for Life champions. Backed by the City Council and a wider partnership, they and their children meet in the park.
Look back at when you were a kid and just think what you used to do. I was always at the beach, I was always running around in woods, so I try to do that with my children. I take them out at different places, bring them to the park.
Well, I find my youngest son, I started with him from being born, like making everything from scratch, so he's been great, he still is. My 8-year-old was more difficult because I was quite young when I had him, and I used to take him to McDonald's and places like that, and it got in a routine where he would rather have stuff like that, so it's been a little bit of a challenge with him, but now he's fantastic.
So they're winning, and the kids get the message.
What sort of food do you like to eat?
Healthy food, like salad and fruit, but I sometimes have not very good stuff.
And out of you and your mates, who's the fastest?
Me.
Our region has many health challenges to win, but it starts here. Healthy and active children. Peter Harris, BBC Look North.